I'm afraid I've got some bad news. It seems like WWE can't learn from the past mistakes, and they're gonna keep making the same mistakes over and over again. Everyone, welcome back to another episode of the King of Ring podcast, and today we're going to be covering Royal Rumble 2015. Let's just get something out of the way here straight away. This pay-per-view was incredibly disappointing. The way the matches were booked, the way the matches went was really disappointing. So I'm just going to get that out straight away. Let's start let you guys know. This episode was going to be a two-man show, but unfortunately, my compadre Connor couldn't make it to the recording, so it's just going to be me for this one. Hopefully, he might be on the next one, which will be WWE Fastlane, which I'm not really looking forward to doing that review of that show because it sounds like it's going to suck. It sounds like it's going to be an over the limit rip-off, even though that pay-per-view sucked. Right, so we're gonna start off with the kickoff. Now, if you've been a listener of the podcast before, you normally know that I don't normally cover the kickoff show, but I have to cover this one because um it's an interesting one. I mean, I didn't necessarily watch the match, but I just want to just throw this out there: the New Day versus Cesaro and Tyson Kidd. Right? Sounds like it could be all right, but I just don't understand why Cesaro and Tyson Kidd are on the pre-show. These they've been, you know what I mean. This Cesaro and Tyson Kidd are pure wrestlers, and I think that's what lets them down in a sense because like they're really good at wrestling, but are they necessarily entertainers? And unfortunately, that's the way the business is nowadays, and that's why you see these guys get put in shitty matches or on the kickoff, and it's really disappointing because Cesaro and Tyson Kidd for me should probably be the tag team champions. I mean, as much as I want Cesaro in the main event because I feel like he can wrestle circles around everyone on the roster pretty much. Um, it's just one of them things where, you know, backstage there's conflicting opinions between Vince McMahon and Triple H, and they don't necessarily know what to do here. And I mean, it's hard with Cesaro with him being from Switzerland, from in Europe, because most Americans probably won't even know that that's a place on Earth. But we'll move on. I just thought I'd mention that because it was really, really strange how that was on the kickoff. Because I would rather watch that than some of the matches that are on the actual show itself, like this one. So the first match of the show is the New Age Outlaws versus the Ascension. First of all, why is this a match? Why is the New Age Outlaws wrestling again? I mean, it's like someone's dad coming into the ring. It's like, just pack it up. You've had a good career. Just if you want to do anything WWE related, just do the documentaries on the WWE Network. You know, maybe do backstage segments. But for the love of God, please don't wrestle. This match was painful to watch. The pacing sucked. The psychology sucked. Everything you want in a good match, this wasn't your match. Um, the Ascension came out with a win, and it's just the Ascension, in my opinion, got buried on Raw. Right, Triple H brought all of his buddies back, NWO, the New Age Outlaws. Oh, that's not people, and they just flat out buried the Ascension. The Ascension were made to look like bitches in the middle of the ring. Then how are we supposed to take these like a serious tag team? How are you meant to do that? That's like when the Big Show was on his knees begging for his job, crying in the middle of the ring. How are you supposed to take him as a serious heel? You cannot do that. It's just impossible. Now, for me, the Ascension, it's hard to say at this point, but I think if they had, I don't know, I don't think the gimmick's right. I think it's too close to the Road Warriors, with the shoulder pads and the black and the red. I think they could have done something maybe a bit different, and you know, I just really hope that if they are ever gonna go anywhere, they do it relatively soon, because if not, they will be forgotten and they will end up back in NXT, and you can believe that, because that's what happens these days. If you suck, your character's pretty much dead. You get dropped down to NXT, your job, and then you eventually maybe get released. And yes, that's pretty much the end of that. It just sucked. Road Dogg cannot sell moves for the life of him. I mean, for God's sake, he was knackered, right? After talking and walking, probably about 50 feet. He was like, you could see him panting in the ring, and you're thinking, hold on, you've just walked down the ramp and you're gassed. How are you supposed to wrestle? Well, I think this was like a 5-10 minute match. How are you meant to do that without looking like shit? You know what I mean? It just looks like none of these main guys on the roster have the stamina to keep it going. And I understand it's a very physical business, but you have to be, like, after seeing the performance center things and the stuff they put them through down in NXT, you've got to put people who are up to that same level of fitness to put on a best show. And it was just like taking the old dog out in the backyard and just shoot them in the head. It was just embarrassing to watch. You know, the New Age Outlaws really should have just stopped after the last time they came back. You know, so we'll move on to the next match, which is the Usos versus the Miz and Damien Sandow. I'm not going to call Miz Dow because God damn it, it's awful. So, Usos versus Miz and Damien Sandow. We've seen this about 40 times now. They do this on fucking Raw, on probably some main event of Superstars if they were wanting to put it on there. It would be on SmackDown, even though I don't watch SmackDown. And it's been on pay-per-views, and the Usos won. Let's take this back. The Usos won the title of the Miz and Damien Sandow on Raw, which I thought was pretty weird, because normally if you're going to lose the title, you're going to lose on a pay-per-view, because that's where the ka-ching money's made. But they did it on Raw, and the Usos win. Now the problem is, for me, is that the Usos are so boring. They're like the Cenas of the tag team division. One-dimensional character, super good guys, never give up attitude, always end up winning pretty much. It's just so boring to watch. It's like, me and Connor were watching the match, and you're just thinking, like, you know what spots they're going to do before they do it. You know, the double super kick, the fucking the jump over the top rope, what they're called Uso crazy, is just retarded. No, it's diving through the second rope. You know, that's not crazy at all. You say that all the time. I think half the fucking roster does that now. And it was just I don't know, it just, I didn't particularly, I don't know, I just didn't particularly enjoy this match. It wasn't something that I was really into, because, to be honest, one, I absolutely despise The Miz. How he's had success in the WWE is beyond me. That man cannot string together a good match if he tried. His life depended on it. You know, he's been the WWE champion. He's main event WrestleMania. You think, what? Like, how? Fall of grace, you know what I'm saying? But it's interesting to see them put together in a tag team. And for me, it just doesn't work. I think, you know, what later happened on the show, which we'll get to later when I talk about that. It just doesn't make sense. You kind of like just want to break up and go their separate ways, because I feel like the Miz is holding back Damien Sandow's career even more, because his career was pretty much dead. And you know, there's this gimmick now where the Miz lifts his arm, everyone boos. Damien Sandow lifts his arm, everyone cheers. And you're thinking, hold on a minute. Why are they cheering? Are they cheering because he's with the Miz and they don't like the Miz, or are they cheering because he's good? And you have to think in your head, like, Is he good in the ring? The answer is not really. Very average. Um, doesn't possess any, incredible stats or like skills that would make him stand out from anyone on the roster. And it was just another generic tag match. And you want to see a theme in this show. They're just fucking tag matches. Now, I hate tag matches now. Tag matches suck. The pacing shite. The psychology is just horrible. You kind of get into the match. You don't believe that they can win because you just know that the Usos are going to win. And that's what they did with the fucking super kick and the splash thing. It's like, how is the splash off the top rope going to beat you? I just don't get it. But lackluster match for the tag belts. Usos retain. I have a funny feeling that the Miz and Damien Sandow will win the belts at Fastlane. Because I think the fans will be very vocal, and that's what's amazing about the WWE fans is that they're very vocal. I mean, look what happened with Daniel Bryan with WrestleMania. The WrestleMania is gone, He wouldn't have been on that WrestleMania card if he didn't get so over, And you think like when stuff like that happens, anything is possible. And I just hope to God that the Usos lose the belts and they just do something else. Because for me, I just don't find them interesting. And when you're watching a 2-3 hour show, you want something to be interesting. You want something to capture your imagination and entertain you and stuff. And they just don't do it for us. So we'll move on to the next match, which, surprise, surprise, was another tag team match. Are you seeing the theme here, guys? It's Tagamania right here, right? They might as well have just called this the Royal Tag Rumble or Tag Rumble, something along those lines. So, the Bella Twins versus Paige and Natalya, right? Now, to me, that sounds not that bad. I like all the Divas there, apart from Brie, because I think she's, super one-dimensional and boring. And I love Nikki Bella and Paige. I think they're awesome divas. And I even like Natalya. She's still good in the ring. It's just she doesn't really have a character to her. But once again, another disappointing divas match at the pay-per-view. Can you guys remember back to that triple threat? AJ Lee, Paige, Nikki Bella. That match was awesome. Every divas match after that, in my opinion, has just been lackluster and is just disappointed. Absolutely disappointed. And again, this disappointed. Botches, horrible pacing. The effort wasn't really there. When you look back through, the many Davis matches in the past, if the pacing's not there and the crowd's not into it, just get the match over and done with as quick as you can. Because if they leave them out too long, the hounds, the fans, will eat them alive, and they won't be able to recover from that, because the crowd tonight, fair play to them. The crowd, when they didn't like something, they showed it, and that's awesome. I love it when the fans, it's funny, you can tell when the fans aren't into it because they were chanting "Ole," like "Ole, ole, ole, ole." Why? Like it doesn't make sense in regard to the match. The fans before they did that on the Raws, they'd like start chanting random people's names and like boring and stuff, and you just felt like the crowd would really only here for the Royal Rumble, and I don't blame them because the rest of this card sucked. You think Teddy Long had booked this whole goddamn show? Tag matches that didn't mean anything, the way the results have went. I mean, so far the Ascension one, which was, to be honest, surprising. And you're thinking, what? You know, the young guys have got to go over, but you don't know what WWE these days. And then the Usos returning, and you thought, hell, Paige and Natalia might have a chance to win, upset the odds a little bit, because nothing was on the line. And you think when nothing is on the line in these matches, you think they would still show a little bit of effort just to, to get the fans on their side. And they didn't. And it ended, I shit you not, guys, it ended off a forearm to the face. I honestly thought she delivered some bad news and delivered the bullhammer. But she just hit him in the face with a forearm. Natalia. 1, 2, 3. Bob's your uncle. Fanny's your aunt. The result was there and there. And I'm just thinking, what on earth is going on? Let's just waste 5 or 10 minutes. Is just gone. 5, 10 minutes is just gone. Like, they could have really done something with the Divas. I mean, Total Divas is probably better than half the shit that's going on Raw at the minute. And you're thinking, like, the Divas should really be getting over on Raw then. But they're not. And you're thinking, because none of them can wrestle a paper bag. And you think if most of them could wrestle and put on a good show with, dangerous spots, high moves to get the crowd going, ooh, I didn't expect that. I didn't expect that of Nikki. I didn't think she would do that. Or I didn't think Paige would do a fucking rope flip over the top rope and take out the bells or something. It's too predictable. They don't take risks, and that ultimately shows. No one cares. No one will care, and no one will ever care. And that's just some more bad news that's going to be delivered throughout the show, because I tell you what, this might be the first ever show that might be held below 5. It was that bad. It was awful. They didn't learn from the past mistakes. When we'll talk about that later. We'll move on to the next match, which in my opinion was match of the night. This was an incredible match. John Cena versus Brock Lesnar versus Seth Rollins, the title. Brock Lesnar's champ. Seth Rollins, Mr. Money in the Bank. It had everything going for it. Yeah, the pacing at some points in the match was questionable, and the move choices were very predictable. I think John Cena went for something like fucking 15 attitude adjustments, and Brock Lesnar did at least 10 German suplexes, which I thought was awesome. Because I love German suplexes. I'm a big fan of Chris Benoit, and I love me some German suplexes. So whenever there's a German suplex, I pop, because it's like, I love German suplexes. But Brock Lesnar's making us not like German suplexes anymore. Because, one, he doesn't do them right. If you watch the clip, right, Benoit used to hold you around the waist. He's got arms around, just under your lungs. And he's throwing them around. And it's like, you're gonna seriously injure someone doing that. He's clumsy, but this match had some awesome spots. I'm not gonna lie. Seth Rollins did a super good old Shane O'Mac style elbow drop from the top rope to the outside through the, you never guess it, the Spanish announce table. You haven't seen that one every pay-per-view. Seth Rollins, he didn't drop the elbow very much at all. So it was what kind of move was that? You could see him when you watched on the slow motion stuff that they've been doing on this pay-per-view. You could see when he was flying through the air, he was almost a bit hesitant to drop the elbow, if that makes sense. Now, psychology, you've got to go with that elbow like you mean it. You got to, ooh yeah, macho man elbow drop, right? You've got to put it with some force to make people believe that it's actually gonna hurt you. You know what I mean? And there was a few cool spots. Seth Rollins hit Brock Lesnar in the head twice with the briefcase, and then went for the curb stomp onto the briefcase, and then Brock Lesnar F5, 1, 2, 3, 1. The funniest part of this match, probably one of the, if not best moment of the show, was Brock Lesnar not selling the attitude adjustment. Brock Lesnar was like, nope. He just sold. John Cena hit him with 4 attitude adjustments, and he got curb stomped. And he was just no selling. He kicked out at 1. That only happens on your fucking wrestling games, right? That only happens on your wrestling games. And it was just hilarious. Brock Lesnar, he sells when he wants. You know what I mean? He doesn't give a shit. As long as he's getting that ka-ching ka-ching through his mailbox. You know what I mean? At the end of the month, they're massive checks that you can cash in. You know, I mean, he doesn't care. He only wrestles maybe 3 times a year, 4 times a year if he's lucky. And I think the perfect opportunity tonight was the night for Seth Rollins to win. Man, that would have put Seth Rollins over. That would have been the perfect opportunity for Seth Rollins to go over by beating 2 of the most formidable superstars in the WWE right now. Brock Lesnar, the conqueror of the streak and who conquered John Cena, and you've got John Cena himself. Never give up, never sell any moves, never put anyone over. John Cena. Man, that would have cemented Seth Rollins as a legitimate contender. And I even feel like, damn, after this match, he's a legitimate contender anyway, because he put on a hell of a show. The way he sold stuff, the moves he did, the risks he took were awesome. And that's what I love about Seth Rollins, is he takes risks. He's not willing to sit back and just casually do things. He's willing to to do the spots that not many people would say. A lot of if Vince came out and was like, God damn it, you gotta do that spot. A lot of people are like, oh, I don't know, that might hurt myself. So I was like, I'll do it. And that's awesome. As a fan, it makes it more believable. And Brock Lesnar was selling multiple injuries throughout this match. He retains. So in my head, straight away, I'm like, Roman Reigns is going to win the Royal Rumble. Roman Reigns is going to win the Royal Rumble because Brock Lesnar just retained. If Brock Lesnar didn't retain, I honestly don't think it would have been Roman Reigns who wins the Royal Rumble. Roman Reigns versus John Cena, I don't think would get the numbers, would get people talking. But Roman Reigns versus Seth Rollins, now that would have been interesting. You know what I mean? I think that would have been incredible. They could have played the whole Shield gimmick. Former brothers, now enemies, fighting for the most important thing in the business, the title. We could have had months of TV sorted with that. Months. But instead, Brock Lesnar retains, and that sets up the easy route, What everyone thought in a million years was going to happen did indeed happen. So I'm instantly just going to cut straight to the winner. Roman Reigns has won the Royal Rumble. Now, holy shit, I'm legitimately pissed off. So were the fans. The fans were pissed off because they've just watched 3 of their favourite superstars, Dean Ambrose, Ziggler, look like bitches. Daniel Bryan was eliminated incredibly early. I think he must have been eliminated halfway through. In the crowd, as soon as Daniel Bryan got eliminated, the crowd were gone. The only way you could bring that crowd back is if something incredible happened. But that never happened. People came out and they were getting booed out of the arena. People who were faces. You look, Kofi Kingston. Let's have a look at the list of people here. After Daniel Bryan got eliminated, you had Adam Rose, Kofi Kingston, Stardust, Goldust, Mizdow, Titus O'Neil, Big E, Ryback, Jack Swagger, Wade Barrett, Cesaro. You had people like that come in. They were getting booed out the building, right? They were getting Batista heat when Batista won the Royal Rumble. Completely didn't deserve it. Comes back after years gone, wins the Royal Rumble. Are you kidding me? Are you having the proverbial Gia right now, right? What is going on? Roman Reigns suffers a hernia. I think it was after his feud with Randy Orton. No one cared about him when he was feuding with Randy Orton. No one cared about him when he got injured. He's lackluster on the mic. You know, me gran, who knows nothing about wrestling, if I said go out there and talk about this, she'd put on a better show than he would. He's awful in the mic, predictable in the ring, not very good at selling moves, not very good at, just quite frankly, wrestling. He's good at brawling, and he's good at making people believe that he's tough and he's strong. But at the end of the day, I don't think he's marketable as a champion. You know, it's just too generic. I mean, come on. You know, the final four was him, Dean Ambrose, Kane and Big Show. Are you taking, pardon my French, their piss, right? You look at the people who were in this Royal Rumble, and you think, who would you want to verse Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania to make an interesting match? You know, there's, well, quite frankly, only about maybe three, four people. I mean, you've got Daniel Bryan, crowd favourite. People love him. People wanted him to do well. He came back from injury, been kicking some ass. Gets made look like a jabroni. You know, he was really struggling in that match. You could see him at one point. He was lifting Fandango over the rope, and you could see he was in agony. Because I still don't think he's right with his injury, and I think that's why Daniel Bryan was eliminated in the fashion that he was. I just think that he's just not 100%. Who knows? They might have just said, "Fuck you, kid. You're not going to WrestleMania again. You've had your moment. Time for someone else to step in the spotlight." You know. Maybe it's that. Who knows? Then you've got Dolph Ziggler. Dolph Ziggler's a fantastic performer. He's a fantastic worker. And he's a guy everyone can relate to, you know. He's very confident. You know, he believes in what he does and he works hard to do it. And I think he would have been an awesome person to win this. You've got Bray Wyatt. Bray Wyatt was on a run, right? He was running away with it, Jeff. And he just got eliminated. Bray Wyatt had an incredible Royal Rumble. He should be very proud of what he did. He lasted, I think, 30, 40 minutes, I think. And, you know, he eliminated a lot of people. And he showed people why they should take him seriously, because he's a good worker. And, you know, he's got a good gimmick. And a lot of people don't necessarily... Some people might not necessarily like him, but I think he's a good worker. You know, he has everything that you could market for, you know. You could even do this. You could even say Beast, Brock Lesnar, you know, versus Wildcard, Bray Wyatt. Like, he's never came up against anyone like Bray Wyatt before. Unpredictable. You know, crazy, off the hinge, right? You could have had, like, mind games. You could have had everything going into this. You know, and it could have really would have helped out Bray Wyatt, you know. You know, and it's just one of them things where you can tell that the creative aspect of the way is, you know, it's so stale. There's not even a ripple or a bubble or anything. You know, there's nothing like, ooh, we could do that. Could we do that? Oh no, we'll just go with what Vince wants. Vince is so out of touch. This is said a lot on forums and on the internet, but he really is out of touch. Triple H knows what's going on. That's why he's promoting the shit out of NXT. He knows that the wrestling and the characters, you've got to look to the future, and you've got to do like new things, and having Roman Reigns win, that was just a fuck you to the fans. Like, oh, you want to come out here? You want to cheer for Dolph Ziggler, Dean Ambrose, Daniel Bryan? Fuck you. We're going with Roman Reigns, and there's not a damn thing you can do about it. The only positive to come out with Roman Reigns winning it is the fact that now there's a high chance that something might happen to the WrestleMania match. It might get triple threated like last year. Him, Brock Lesnar, and then fucking someone else. You never know. But I don't know, man. Like people like Dean Ambrose and Rusev and them, they all could have won, and they all would have been good winners in my opinion. And it was pretty funny. Rusev rolled under the bottom rope. I cannot exactly remember when in the Royal Rumble, but he did. He rolled under the bottom rope because I think he sold someone's move. Pardon me. And he was lying. He must have been lying on the floor or under the ring for a quite long time. Anyway, Roman Reigns had thought he'd won, and Rusev comes in. This is a perfect chance for Rusev right now to eliminate Roman Reigns and win the Royal Rumble. Hell, I don't even think Pete would have been that bothered if Rusev had won, as long as it's not Roman Reigns, because no one really likes Roman Reigns. It's only the casual fans and the kids who like Roman Reigns, because, he's strong and he beats people. Whoop-de-doo. We've seen that one 50,000 times. Not many people have had a gimmick as boring as that and succeeded. And, it's... Rusev comes in. There's like a tiny bit of us thinking, what's going to happen here? Is Rusev actually going to eliminate Reigns and go to WrestleMania where he's going to verse Brock Lesnar? Nope. Roman Reigns chucks Rusev over the top rope, and Roman Reigns is going to WrestleMania. Roman Reigns is going to WrestleMania. And you're just sitting there, just disappointed, thinking, I've just wasted 3 hours of my life watching a show that was utterly, quite frankly, shit. It lacked any imagination, very predictable, and one thing that I forgot to mention is, holy shit, Bubba Ray Dudley came out. I didn't see that one coming. Bubba Ray Dudley coming back, and the triple threat was the only good thing of the show. What does that tell you? What does that honestly tell you? Let us know in the comments section, because I honestly have no idea. I'm sitting there thinking, how is someone from the past, in the Attitude Era, from the 90s, coming back one of the highlights of the show? Like better than the guys who are here now grafting, because the guys that are here grafting don't deserve the opportunity, because they're lackluster. They don't have any real talent or passion or skill for the business. And it was awesome to see Bubba Ray back. I thought it was awesome. Genuinely surprised. But one other person came out. The Boogeyman. Are you taking the piss? Are you honestly taking the piss? That spot could have been someone else who deserves to be in this match, and you've put the Boogeyman there. Like, what? Are you serious right now, Vince? Who's booking this shit? Is Vince still writing for TV? Because if he is, he's not doing a good job at it. Every year someone comes out and surprises everyone. Oh, look, it's Kevin Nash. Or, oh, look, it's Diesel. Or someone random from the Attitude Era who people used to care about and don't really care about anymore, but if they see them, they're like, oh yeah, it's them again. Awesome. But I'm genuinely in shock, guys, at how bad this show was. And I just have to get a few things off my chest. It's just I'm just so disappointed with how this whole show went. I love the Royal Rumble. I've loved the Royal Rumble since I was a kid, and it just generally disappoints us that you know that this is what it's come down to. Someone who possesses very little skill as a wrestler comes in, does a few generic things, pretends he's fucking Superman, and wins the match. And that ends the show. Hell, The Rock comes back. Not even The Rock coming back can save the show at the end to congratulate Roman Reigns. There's boos echoing through the arena when Roman Reigns and The Rock are in the ring. What does that show you? Huh? They've made a horrible mistake, and this is going to last with them for a long time when they realise that Roman Reigns doesn't have what it takes to hold the company up like someone like one of these new guys could have, of hell, even fucking someone like John Cena, someone like that who can hold the company up. Roman Reigns ain't going to do that. He's not going to draw the tickets that some of these other guys can. And quite frankly, that's it. It ends. It ends in a incredibly disappointing match, and to end an incredibly disappointing show. And so now comes the point of the review part of the podcast where we give the Royal Rumble a score. And I'm going to give the Royal Rumble 2015 a 3 out of 10. This was possibly the worst pay-per-view of the year. There was one awesome match and one surprise returnee that made the show remotely even close to even turning on, never mind watching. And make sure to leave your scores, reviews in the comment section. Let us know what you think. Do you think Roman Reigns is the right guy to win, or do you think that someone else should have been given a chance? Like I said, let us know in the comment section. Don't forget to subscribe and for more of these reviews, and leave a like. And I'll see you next time on another episode of the King of the Ring podcast.